Okay, we're back. So we made some further changes over this last week of gameplay. I think I've got about 10 matches here. And there were a few more, but some of it our opponents they disconnect too early, or if we get absolutely smashed. And it's not really much because of some poor predictions or something like that. Some weird stuff going on in some games. Some people, they just bring some focus sash support and die to sandstorm, and I don't really want to show those things too much. I just feel bad for them. Um, we want to show the real challenge, right? The teams that are sort of even in some sense and have some proper gameplay value. So this first one, you'll see I still have my Solgaleo with me. And eventually I will end up with a Lunala in the place of Solgaleo, just because we can resist Earthquake. We don't really have to care about it, so only Tyranitar is susceptible to everything else in the game, basically. And Lunala also serves pretty well in the sense where it has Wide Guard, which can catch some opponents unaware, although we were not able to use it to much success because we often had another Pokemon that our opponent prefers to single target for some reason. So you'll see what I mean here in this first game as we go through. All right, so we have Celesteela Monkey here. This doing usual stuff. I'm not sure whether I actually picked a name for what do you call this, Lunala. I think it should be Ibat or something like that, but we'll see. So Rage Powder, kind of obvious here, but it doesn't really matter for me because I just want to get the boost going here from the Meteor Beam. So we let Xerneas go for his Geomancy, and this match is pretty well played. I would say so myself. I think it managed to get a Geomancy once, which is pretty scary already, but it's definitely eventually going to go for another one if you give it the chance. So because they have Rage Powder, they believe they're very safe. We get the Steel Spike off, which gives us a defense boost. Doesn't really matter against Xerneas, but it's important that we get the Beast boost here, which is very, very important for us. Dazzling Gleam goes up, at a +2. Thankfully, that doesn't really matter to Celesteela, and Monkey is quite tanky, so we take it quite well. Now the opponent has to switch out after, the Geomancy and whatever, so that's great for us. The fact that we managed to get them out at +2 because yeah, they can still be quite scary. We don't really want to let them keep building on that. So them being out is really good for us, and they were definitely afraid of Max Steel Spike, so that's good. We get a yawn off, but unfortunately it doesn't work because of electric terrain. Steel Spike one shots the Tapu Koko, which was unexpected. I thought Tapu Koko might be able to take that a little better because I do believe it has reasonable special defense, but I'm not sure. But it is a neutral to it, so it being, removed from the field is great for us, although we can't do our yawn shenanigans anymore. So we have to play around that. So Intelligence pumping up, which is a little bit scary, no doubt. I bring in Solgaleo just in case, you know, it does something strange and I don't want to lose the monkey so soon. So yeah, they go for a Blizzard, which thankfully misses the Solgaleo slot. Regardless, Celesteela takes it pretty well. Go for Flash Cannon into the Xerneas, and it goes down. So the Dynamax is over, which is really good for us. We can keep tanking these Blizzards, which is absolutely fine. The opponent forfeits at this point. So in this match, I think the Xerneas matchup is just really good for us because there's not really much Xerneas can do against our team. I was a little bit afraid of the Zygarde, to be honest, because Zygarde has this ability where it can do ground type damage to your flying type Pokemon. So it hits flying type Pokemon as one of Zygarde's moves. And I was very, very afraid of that because bringing two Steel's Pokemon into the game would be a loss for me. But I just took the bet that it's a high possibility that they are going for not Zygarde, which was great in our favor. But if they did go for Zygarde, we would be in a little bit of trouble because I realized we don't really have that sort of Dragon or Ice Beam kind of support. So a little bit strange decision from our opponent not to go for the Zygarde, but it worked well in our favor. But otherwise, we would have definitely been in some kind of trouble. So here's the next match. This one is pretty standard. I see a lot of fire and ice Pokemon. I definitely want to bring my rock Pokemon into it. And Celesteela has great lead because most people don't believe that Celesteela carries the Meteor Beam, I think. I'm not sure. I think some of them know, but not all of them. So we just go for the Meteor Beam regardless, into the Amoonguss with the Rage Powder, get the Trick Room up. Mimikyu here is being really annoying by removing our Trick Room. But it's not really too much of a concern because as long as just Mimikyu Among Us on the field, we can just delay the Mimikyu from doing anything else. He goes for the taunt, we get rid of it with the mental herb. We steal spike onto it just to see if we can, just break the disguise at least to build up for the next turn. But the fact that they went for the taunt, it was interesting. It gave us a chance to probably get Trick Room, but they went really hard. They went for a Spore as well, and putting us to sleep, uh, prevented the Trick Room. So we go for the Flare, we get rid of the Amoonguss, at least one Pokemon down. Mimikyu is going to set up Trick Room here, which is very interesting, I thought, because they do believe that most of their Pokemon are slower than ours, so it has to be the Cali, right? But what comes out is the Reshiram, which is very interesting, because I don't think Reshiram is able to be slower than Celesteela in any way, right? 59 to 124. Yeah, there's absolutely no way that they're slower, so I'm not sure why the Mimikyu went for the Trick Room here, maybe predicting a waking up monkey, which is not likely because it is the first turn of sleep, right? Yeah, it is the first turn of sleep. Hmm. I don't know. It's kind of strange decision, but regardless, they get the trick room up. Callie doesn't show up. Reshiram shows up instead. They go for the Dynamax because they want to get the Max Flare off in the sun, which is kind of obvious here. So we get the light screen up and we go for the Rockfall to change the weather as soon as we can and do as much damage as we can. That reduces the flare damage by so much. That flare would have done double its damage if we didn't have light screen and change the weather. So that was really, really good for us. The fact that we managed to get those two off thanks to Trick Room, or we would have definitely been dead. We switch into Itar here because we have no reason to continue to risk the Celesteela getting one-shotted from the flare. T-Tar can take flares all day, so that's absolutely fine for us. And with the Sandstorm up earlier, we have a massive special defense boost. So with Light Screen and T-Tar Sandstorm, there's nearly nothing that Reshiram can do to us at this point. So we go for the Protect just because we're afraid of a Max Quake. But turns out they just go for a Will-O-Wisp, which was great that we managed to block that. And a Whirlwind, which is also fine for us. It does get the attack drop, but sort of negligible in a sense, because we did manage to get Reshiram to fall asleep, so that's great for us. So Calyrex coming in here, the only thing I was afraid of is the fact that it probably has weakness policy. So we go for the Rock Slide anyway, and unfortunately we do trigger the weakness policy. Not gonna lie, a little bit afraid of that, but not too afraid because we continue to go for Rock Slides here. Thanks to the switch in from Calyrex. So a foul play from the monkey actually one-shots the Calyrex, and that was huge for us. I did not expect the Cali to die from the monkey's foul play, which tells you just how much attack Calyrex possesses. So that's kind of scary. Good thing we got rid of that with the weakness policy, and it also worked in our favor because the trick room ended when Cali came in. So this was huge actually. The fact that um, you know we got the rock slide because of the switch in damage. But that's negligible. Weakness policy triggers. But in this turn, Trick Room is actually over. So this works in our favor. So instead of getting up another Trick Room, we just go for the foul play first because we outspeed the Calyrex. So we go for Rock Slide, foul play, Cali dies, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, we won this game by playing a little bit cautious and smart because we did want to make sure that we control potential sweep from the Calyrex, which worked really well in our favor. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Here's the next one. Do that. Give me a sec. Okay, so let's see. So this one was a little bit, worrying because I saw the Tornadus and Landorus combo. I didn't see Thunderous, but I realized that it's not likely that maybe we don't want to bring the Landorus, but then knowing that the Torkoal Zacian is most likely going to be somewhere in the combo, it could be Torkoal Venusaur, Zacian Kyogre, and I think our opponent definitely prefers to bring Zacian Kyogre in the back compared to Tornadus Landorus. So the fact that I didn't see either of those in the start gave me a huge confidence boost because I knew it's going to be just a Venusaur with probably Kyogre Zacian in the back. So this is really important. Vine Lash goes off, Monkey will definitely survive that. We go Meteor Beam first turn. And I know the Meteor Beam usually one-shot Torkoals, so unless Torkoal was holding something like a Focus Sash, there's really not much for us to worry here. We get Trick Room up, and the sun is, ongoing, so we gotta be careful. But it does give me an advantage in the sense where we outspeed Venusaur and Zacian at this point. My only risk is that if I take a Max Flare in the sun, well, Celesteela's pretty much going down. We do Dynamax off here, but instead of um, going into the Venusaur, which could be tanky. We go for the Max Flare to get rid of the Zacian, which is super important for us probably in the late game. We do get Max Flare here, but we know we can take it. I've built this Celesteela to take these sorts of things. And Venusaur's, what do you call this? Special defense is, a special attack is not as much of a concern to me compared to Zacian's physical attack. So getting rid of the Zacian was really important there. Kyogre comes in, gets the rain going up. So Venusaur going for a max guard here was huge. We get the light screen up and we go for a max overgrowth to get rid of the Kyogre. So Venusaur here is pretty much not a threat for us because we know we can stall it out with Celesteela unless he goes for a max flare, which they did not. And I'm not sure why they went for the guard in the last turn, but they could have definitely gone for the attack on the offensive because the rain was up from the Kyogre. So it's unlikely, even if I flat, that I would be able to do anything to Venusaur. So they should have just flat against me. But anyway, we got rid of the Kyogre, which was huge. And now we can go for a sleeping flare into a sleeping Venusaur. And yeah, that's pretty much game. So this is basically our opponent's mistake, I think. They did have a huge chance in this turn. Instead of the Vine Lash, they could have gone straight into the Flare because of the sun being up. But the fact that they went for the Vine Lash first gave us a huge Meteor Beam turn and immediate, boost, double boost basically. So at this point, with the Trick Room up, it was already my game. The Venusaur has to go for a Protect here, so I was expecting a Max Guard or a Max Flare if they want to be, go all out. But I thought I'll take that gamble and go into the Zacian, which was very well on my part, I think, in the sense where I went for the Flare into Zacian, got rid of that, got the Yawn off on the Venusaur, and they did go for the Flare here, but we were able to survive that, which was huge. So yeah, this was a fair enough game. So this is where the rain comes in. This is where probably our opponent decided, I'm going to max guard here, which is really strange. This should have just been an attack, and they could have at least utilized the Venusaur's last Dynamax turn a little better. So yeah, max overgrowth, Kyogre, and then not really much our opponent can do beyond that. So yeah, that's a GG. With the Solgaleo coming in just to show a little cameo there, and the Venusaur going down to max flare. So here's the next one. This one is, oh, this one's I think gonna be a little bit fun. So we do go with what do you call this, Monkey and the Celesteela lead as usual. It's a strong leads. Lunala and Suicune comes in. So yeah, when I saw the Suicune, I was actually kind of interested. Is it a Tailwind Suicune? What is it going for? It went straight for a Scald actually. I think hoping for a burn turn one. We do go for a Meteor Beam, which misses on the Suicune, which is unfortunate because we did predict the right slot. The Ferrothorn switch in, was definitely something that we called. So yeah, unfortunately it missed on the Suicune. It doesn't really matter. We get the Trick Room up, and it knocks off our Mental Herb, I think. Yeah, Mental Herb. Um, which is fine, whatever. We get the light screen up. We go for the Max Flare into the Ferrothorn. That, yeah, pretty much one shots it. I expected some sort of a, I don't know, Focus Sash maybe, but I don't know. Maybe it's leftovers, right? It has to be leftovers. Yeah, I think it's most likely leftovers. So it goes down, which is great for us. We get the sun up, which means we can take the skulls. We unfortunately do get burned though. But I don't think it'll matter too much later into the game. So Hitmontop coming in here was a little bit curious, but it goes for Protect straight away, which is interesting. We go for the Overgrowth into the Suicune. They don't predict that. Most people don't know that Celesteela has Overgrowth. So yeah, we do just delay another turn until Lunala comes in, goes for its Dynamax. They go for a Max Guard right away. Bullet Punch is something we can take. We go for Foul Play into Lunala, which is protected, but we want to get rid of Hitmontop. The reason we do that is because Celesteela is not afraid of Lunala in, know, I don't know, in any sense, I guess. Lunala can do a lot of damage to Celesteela, but the fact that we are really well boosted, we do just want to go on the offense. There's really nothing they can stop here. So we do get another Beast Boost, but they delay the turn just so that my Dynamax is over, which is well played on their part. But we bring in Cheetar here just to give a lot more control on our side to show that we want to be offensive here. Max Rockfall goes into Celesteela, which we take really well. And I realized Lunala doesn't really have anything huge here. They don't really have any way of controlling. The only way they could have probably played this better is if they brought in the Lunala and went for the Meteor Beam to get the Herb boost, which I do believe they are Meteor Beam because of the Rockfall damage. So they go for Overgrowth into G-Tower, which is really scary. I did not expect this, honestly. But it does give us a huge weakness policy boost. get a flash cannon off, doesn't really matter, but the crunch is going to get rid of it. I think we would have been able to crunch it even without the um, weakness policy boost, to be honest, because T-Tar is quite powerful, and Lunala is 4 times weakness. In Dynamax basically means you're doing 2 times to a regular Pokemon. So yeah, we could have got it either way, but it's great that we just popped T-Tar to scare them and got rid of them. So yeah, that's well played. Here's the next one with Kyogre. This time I didn't see a Zacian, so I was a little bit curious as to how these Tornadus and Thunderous combo will come in. This has to be defined Thunderous because I realized they'd only have, otherwise they would only have like 2 attackers or 3 attackers, which didn't make sense. So it has to be Defiant Thunderous. They bring the Incineroar here, and I knew that just going to be really annoying with these parting shots and rotations. That's a good thing. Intimidate doesn't really do much to us, and Fake Out doesn't do either. I think they forgot that we are inner focus. Astral Barrage is not going to harm the monkey. We get the Meteor Beam first turn, which is easily a one-shot for me. So I'll take it. If I can one-shot Incineroar, sure. Get the Trick Room up, and now our game really starts. So Thunderous comes in. This has to be the Defiant Thunderous. It goes for the Dynamax, as expected. You get the light screen up, which means we are protecting against both of these Pokemon. And Max Rockfall actually just gets rid of it, which is great for us. There's no way they could have survived it because we're already well double boosted. So we've got triple boost here, and they forfeited just right away, realizing this game is just spiraling out of control for them, right? So yeah, I think this was one of the fastest games I had in a proper match. Like, as in, I really took on their Dynamax and chased the opponent. A lot of other games just end in turn 1 sometimes. So I don't really want to have replays of those. Those are not really something we're looking for. So we are still, I think, pretty far on the rank, right? What is our rank here? 1002. I really want to get to 2K. It's been a long time since we ever reached that. Uh, it's been a year since we actually played this game like a little bit better than we used to. So yeah, anyway, here we go. Get a Thunderous Venusaur on the leads because they always believe that we want to start off with the Landorus Intimidate, so they do want to have the Define Thunderous straight away to try to get a free boost, but I'm not going to give it to them. I always keep the Landorus as sort of the last resort if I really need it, because Landorus always deals well with Zacian, and most opponents do not want to lead with Zacian because they do believe that they still have to just switch Zacian out because it gets pressured by a lot of Intimidate users. So them keeping Zacian in the back is the usual prediction. So our leads are always just better as is Celesteela Monkey. So now with the I see the Thunderous Venusaur. This is highly likely. What do you call this? I'm going to switch out the Thunderous, bring the Sun in, and probably do something like that. But they instead go for the Wild Charge and one-shot my Celesteela, which I did not expect at all. So I was really terrified by the fact that that the Thunderous does so much damage. The Wild Charge was huge though, in the sense where they take a massive chunk of damage. But the fact that they one-shotted the Celesteela, and thank God I didn't Dynamax to turn 1, right, was really good in, I guess, both cases, for them and for us in some way. But we do bring the Tyranitar in here to just, give us sort of uh, some kind of weather control. But unfortunately, Torkoal comes in just after, which I think was a little bit of a mistake in my part. But the Torkoal comes in. We do go for the T-Tar Dynamax here. We want to get the Rockfall and get rid of the Torkoal because this is Trick Room, right? So we get the Light Screen. We get the Rockfall. We get the Sandstorm up, which means Sun is gone. So Venusaur go for the Vine Lasher is sort of nothing we can do about it. We take it, but we know the weakness policy is going to trigger, which is huge for us. So now our opponent has to bring what do you call this? The Thunderous or Zacian. But when I saw Calyrex here, I was like, this is our game. This is Tyranitar, Dynamax game, which is totally in our control, right? So Cali Ice here is huge. They actually switched back to Thunderous. I'm not sure why. I think they would rather lose the Thunderous. Is the only thing I could predict here, because them switching out the Cali just gives me a free turn, right? And I was a little bit afraid, honestly, because there is a possibility the Cali Ice actually outspeeds us. Actually, no, it most definitely outspeeds us in Trick Room. I don't think we're that slow. But maybe they're max speed Cali Ice, which could be the case. I'm not entirely sure. But their switch was huge. That switch was very, very important for us. We go for a max darkness into Thunderous instead of the Rockfall. And we just wanted to get like I don't know, some kind of boost, I guess. It doesn't really matter because it's special defense, and then I realized we're doing attacks, but yeah, whatever. Max Darkness is still really cool to see from a T-Tar. So this is like 2 turns left on Trick Room here, and Kelly Ice comes in. So this is where I believe that Kelly might outspeed us. So I go for a Max Guard. But Kelly protects here, which is very important. They go for another Max Guard. So they protect against a foul play from the monkey. But this is huge in the turn where they want to delay me because they know the Vine Lash will get rid of the Tyranitar. But they also delay their Pokemon, which means the monkey lives for another turn. Which I'm not sure entirely how important, but it's great in the sense where Venusaur falls asleep pretty much for free. And yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much for free, falls asleep. So Monkey and Lunala is the last, is going to be the end game here. Oh, not sure what that sound was from, but yeah. We do go for a foul play straight into the Cali here, and it activates the weakness policy, which is a little bit unfortunate. Glacial Lance is going to do so much damage, but Lunala can take it in the first turn pretty well. We go for Moonguy's Beam, get rid of the Calyrex, and now it's a Sleeping Venusaur against the Lunala. And so, remember, we started off this game by having our Celesteela one-shotted, which was really bad in our sense. Most people I know would just quit, but we fought on, and we got the win here, which is huge. I'm really proud of this match, I must say. So it was great. Yeah, really great. So let's just go to the next one. Okay, so for the next one, we have. Oh, this is very interesting. I saw Salamence here, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a really cool game. I just want to fight Salamence. Please Dynamax Salamence, right? Which is what we gotta go for. But we do also know that it's a huge risk of us bringing specific rock Pokemon here. So Celesteela is always great in the sense where I can do my rock moves and not be too afraid of dragon types and stuff like that. So I do not change my leads here. But the Earth Power from the Landorus was actually very interesting. I realized this is a special Landorus, not physical. So I'm not sure how important it is, but in a sense where I know if I get a light screen up, it might be really good for me. So we avoid the heat wave from the Salamence. Monkey avoids it, but I don't think it would have KO'd us either way. So we do delay long enough. We get a Meteor Beam going into the Salamence. It misses, but we do get the boost, so it's fine. Trick Room goes up. We Dynamax here. I expected a switch, but then I know if I have a Salamence in my lead, I want to be aggressive, right? I don't really want to switch it out. So just predicting that they would just go for the Dynamax, we go straight into the Max Rockfall here. We get the light screen up, go for the Max Rockfall into the Salamence. We know it's highly unlikely that we can one-shot it, even after our boost, because of just how tanky Salamence is. But when I saw the weakness policy boost, I was really worried. I knew this might be huge, but we survived because of the light screen. So that's really important for us. Um, like the fact that the Salamence could not break the light screen means that it's just bulkier and not so offensive, which is great because it's a weakness policy Salamence. So even with 2 boosts, the fact that it couldn't kill us at what 50, 60%? What were we at? Let's just see that again. So Earth Power, yeah, whatever. Heat Wave, okay, we misses. You take that. We take like a quarter of our HP before what do you call this? It's weakness policy boost. But here, go for the D-Max. D-Max. Let's can show Max Rockfall. Okay, so we are at about 60%, right? So it's at a double boost here. We take a flare to the light screen, so it just I guess cancels out the double boost because of the light screen, right? So yeah, that makes sense. We took about the same amount of damage as we took in the first turn, just slightly more, I think. So yeah, really interesting. So Earth Power again into the monkey. Monkey takes that. That's great. We go for the Foul Play into the Landorus just to do some chip damage. And we go for Max Rockfall into the Salamence just to clean it up. I was worried it might go for a God here. But I knew that I don't think they would want to waste their weakness policy turns. And they're probably just going to be on the offensive because they know they can't do much with the Salamence here. So we go for a Foul Play into the Landorus just to get some chip damage off while this takes place. Because, yeah, Rock Slide is probably the best move and it's not going to kill Celesteela. So the monkey goes down, gives us a free switch in for Lunala versus Lunala, and we have 2 turns of Trick Room left. We go for the Rockfall, get rid of the Landorus. So here my only belief is that we definitely are slower than this Lunala because we are built for Trick Room and they're built for a speedier team. So we know we outspeed it and we go for the Moonguy's Beam, but we can take the Moonguy's Beam because we got Light Screen up. So we are absolutely safe here and the Sandstorm actually cleans up the Lunala, which is great. Kyogre comes in, gets the rain going. Unfortunately, he comes in late. Um, yeah, it's really strange how the Kyogre actually did not like this is all within a within a single turn, right? We get Moonguy's Beam off first, so they should have probably gone for a protect this turn, right? and taken the Moongeist Beam safely so they can bring the Kyogre in with the rain. And that way probably, I don't know, it would have, maybe things would have gone in their favor because I don't think they're safety goggles now like us, right? We have safety goggles, which is interesting. So Kyogre goes for Protect here. We sort of expect that. We actually go for a White Guard here, believing they might just go for the Split move, but they don't. Energy Ball is defended, and they just wait off our what do you call this? Our Trick Room to him. There's not really nothing much we can do. Uh, we can't really attack them, and we gotta wait for Trick Room to end. So we take the Ice Beam here, and we just get our Trick Room back up with Lunala, which is great. We bring Gastrodon in here, and it's pretty much GG at this point. I think they realize there's not really much they can do. They just try to delay the turn, which is great. So I would say well played in my opponent's part, in the sense where they try to keep the Kyogre for the end game and thought maybe that might give them a chance. They managed to keep the rain up the entire time, but and they're forced to go for Ice Beams here because they don't want to give the boost to the Gastrodon. But it doesn't really matter because we are still in Trick Room, and so we have a huge advantage in the fact that we're always going to go first. So yeah, Trick Room has been sort of the way that I've been winning these matches because a lot of people just want to outspeed each other and go through that, and we don't want to have any of that. So I really would like to face more opponents that thrive in Trick Room, but I haven't really found that many that are interested in that kind of gameplay. So let's just see this next one. Okay, so here we have, I believe, a Venusaur Sun team. We see a P2 coming in very early. I'm not sure what's his intention. I think he wants to. At first, I thought the possibility is that they either want to go Thunderbolt into the Celesteela, or they want to undo our Trick Room, right? It's these two possibilities. There's really not much else Porygon 2 is going to do here. But instead, they switch straight out into the Groudon here, which is interesting. So we do go for a Meteor Beam, I believe, into the P2 slot. It's going to go for Max Flare turn 1. We survive with 1 HP because of how well we are, our stats are distributed, which is great for us. We go for the Meteor Beam. It's not going to do anything really useful, but we do get a Trick Room up, which means we are always going to get a free turn in this turn. So we go for a Max Flare in the Sun, and I'm not sure how well this Venusaur is built, but it does not take a +1 Flamethrower. His Flamethrower, it's not Fire Blast, it's not, I don't know, Overheat or something, but he gets a one-shot in the Sun. And we get a double boost for free here. The Groudon goes for Bulk Up, which is great, which means we get to spend another turn doing whatever we want for free. We go for a Yawn onto the P2 just to give it some control because we don't, there's definitely no way Celesteela can get rid of it in 2 or 3 turns, and they're definitely going to have a free shot here. Another thing about P2 is that it's going to probably have Recover, so in order to stop that, we have to put it to sleep. That's the best way, I think, to control it. We go for the Energy Ball here with the +2 into the Groudon, one-shot it, which means Groudon is definitely not Assault Vest. I'm actually not sure what it was, but it was an Assault Vest, so Bulk Up Groudon going down in a one-shot is brilliant for us. We pass out to Foul Play, which is fine, absolutely fine, and the opponent just quits at this point. So this is really clean. We didn't even need to bring our back Pokemon. Although I do believe for context, we were actually keeping, let me see, on flying. I believe there's still Landorus in the back because we didn't want to. We always don't start with Landorus because we're afraid of Defiant Thunderous. But I believe that I kept Landorus in the back just because I believe Earthquake might serve well against the late gameization Incineroar. In case that was the case, but it wasn't. So whatever, I guess. Here's another one. This one is a Pheromosa here. So I was really quite interested in the sense where I believe they will bring their Pheromosa or Hitmontop, although I did not expect them to bring both Pokemon. But I believe they did bring both here, actually. I can't remember, but I know the Hitmontop came out first. So Hitmontop Dialga, interesting leads, actually, I must say, but I know they're highly likely going to go for the Dynamax turn 1 here. So we wait, and we see the Dynamax goes up turn 1, Fake Out into the Monkey is not going to do anything. Max Rockfall goes into the Celesteela, which we can take really well. Go for the Meteor Beam turn 1, and this time we actually land the beam. It is resisted by the Hitmontop, and we get the Trick Room off. But yeah, I think we're doing okay here. So Hitmontop goes for the Vacuum Wave, which is interesting. It's a fighting type move, right? I believe it's fighting type. I'm not entirely sure. I have not seen it. But the weakness policy boost was quite scary here. We do get light screen up and go for Flamethrower just to try to get rid of the Hitmontop if we can, because we we're not too afraid of Dialga here, to be honest. This is one of the reasons why I dropped my own Dialga off because I don't really feel it's that much of a threat. Plus, I believe I have Landorus in the back in this game. So, Wormwind comes here, we can take it because, you know, we have the light screen going. Otherwise, we may not have, which is great. So we get a Yawn off onto Dialga to get the control. We get the Flamethrower going to get rid of the Hitmontop. We do not Dynamax here no matter what because we want to delay that Dialga's turn as much as we can. They go for a Steel Spike very intelligently to get the defense boost, so that's well played on their part. And they get rid of the Monkey because they don't want a late Trick Room. So they believe that that might be their winning condition. Oh yeah, there we go. The Pheromosa is finally revealed. So this is where we bring in the Landorus and we go absolutely berserk because we know we're in a huge advantage because we brought the right Pokemon. We go Dynamax here. We're definitely going to go probably um, Quake, right? I think we're going to go Quake into the Dialga. We go for Flamethrower because they don't have a Dynamax anymore, so we're not too afraid. We go for Quake into the Dialga. So they don't have any flying types, which is one of the best reasons. I just have no fear of going for Quake. If they do have a flying type, then I would have probably gone for Airstream into the Pheromosa and use the Celesteela to probably go for something else into the Dialga. Probably some flamethrower, I mean, yeah, flamethrower or something like that, because we do have a lot of boost there. Draco Meteor into the Landers. I'm not sure what's the point of that. They could have just got rid of the Celesteela. But they do fall asleep and Kali comes in. It's still our game, I think, and they forfeit here, realizing that there's not much they can do against this Dynamax Landers. And I believe in the back, if I'm not mistaken, um, I have Lunala. I believe I have Lunala in the back, and the reason for that is that I saw two fighting Pokemon and decided that Lunala is probably a better option because you see the Grimmsnarl, Incineroar as one of the other two possibilities, but I think I could have handled it. So yeah, I do believe I had Lunala in the back for this case. Regardless, GG. And here's the last one. This last game was, and I saw Solgaleo on the opponent. So all of these, at this point, I'm really switched very well to Lunala, and I'm sort of adapting Lunala into the game here, trying to understand how it works. So the only Pokemon that I have that can defend against pure Dark types is not a very good Pokemon against I mean against a lot of others, which is Tyranitar. But the fact that we managed to do well with Dynamax Tyranitar, I think knowing when to use it is when you can absolutely dominate with it because it is a really powerful Pokemon, and people just underestimate it because of its billion weaknesses. So anyway, we see the Dynamax turn one. Bulldoze is not going to do anything to Celesteela. They drop the speed of the monkey, which is huge for us because it will help us outspeed everyone in Trick Room. But they're obviously doing it for the weakness policy boost, right, on Solgaleo. So we are like, okay, it's a boosted Solgaleo, um, but we just need to get Trick Room up here, which is the important thing. So they go for Max Lightning, one shot the Celesteela, which happens. It's becoming more and more of a thing, guys. People are one-shotting my Celesteela with Max Lightning or yeah, some kind of wild charge, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. But we do get the Trick Room up, which is really important for us. We get the Lunala in here. We go for the Lunala Dynamax because we know no matter what, we can survive turn one. We go for the Foul Play into the Solgaleo, and we try to predict a Max God. So that didn't happen, which is interesting. So we get rid of the Spectrier. So this guy actually has a double horse. He has Spectrier and Cali Shadow. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like what on earth? So one of it is a support, right? So Spectrier is most likely the support here. But interesting, abusing the fact that they can just bring two powerful Pokemon like that. But we go for the Phantasm because we believe Solgaleo might protect, but it didn't. So they go for a Quick there into the Monkey, trying to get a special defense boost. And I think that's a logical play. So yeah, well played in their sense. That special defense boost is definitely going to play well into the late game. We go for a Phantasm into the Solgaleo here, trying to do as much as we can. We do not manage to get the light screen up because we went for foul play in that turn. But it wouldn't matter against Solgaleo because it's a physical attacker, and seeing the physical team means that we did the right play. That is what we could. We do eat a Steel Spike, which I'm not sure why. Um, yeah, that probably means that they just don't have anything against the Lunala, which I think was really, really important in our case. So Titar coming in here means they want a Sunsteel Strike, they want a Grassy Glide, they want to do these things to me, but I'm going to be faster in Trick Room than the Solgaleo no matter what. So Rillaboom outspat me because of the priority Grassy Glide, but it gives me a free weakness policy boost, and I go for a Max Phantasm here. And they're definitely going to go for another Grassy Glide in this turn because why wouldn't they, right? But I don't think it really matters in the sense where even if I protect, I'm just delaying my imminent death because Trick Room is going to be over. So I go for the attack anyway, and a Moongeist Beam to get rid of the Calyrex. Balloon pops, and the Calyrex pops. And now it's Rillaboom versus Lunala. Really not much of a choice here. We are going to win this. So yeah, go ahead, Grassy Glide me, eat a Moongeist Beam, and Sayonara. So yeah, these are our matches. I think these were really interesting in the sense where we switched from the Solgaleo to the Lunala, and Lunala has actually been doing some work because of its interesting Moongeist V moveset. I have been having Focus Blast, which I've not learned to use in any way because I was hoping that if a dark Pokemon shows up, maybe Focus Blast might help us against it. Um, yeah, I mean, or if it's a fighting type, that might be good as well because Moongeist Beam is not going to do anything against a dark Pokemon. But then I realized that I was absolutely stupid and I could have always had either Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast because those handle both dark and fighting types. So yeah, I mean, I was like, wait, why did I set Focus Blast on Lunala? And I realized it much later in the game that I should have just gone for Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam. I think in a sense it just gives me more DPS. I'm gonna go for the Moonblast, plus it gives me a chance of lowering the target special attack, which is just gonna be everywhere throughout the game. So yeah. So I'm gonna stick to my White Guard for now because it's a max guard if I'm Dynamax, and if I'm not, it might help me against Kyogre, Groudon, the Kali brothers, so yeah, I think White Guard might be a very good fourth slot option here, but Lunala has settled as my Trick Room setter, or rather my restricted Trick Room setter, because I just wanted one Trick Room setter that can survive in case the monkey is overwhelmed by whatever is in front of it. So as for the weaknesses of this team, um, oh, I believe I opened the what do you call it, inspect mode there to try to see if I can find what do you call this, the link to this wallpaper, which I did find, by the way. There's a link to the wallpaper. It's within Showdown. So it's kind of cool. I wanted to have that wallpaper on my desktop. But anyway, here, if we see in terms of weaknesses, I think um, there's actually not too much concern. There's a grass, four times grass here. There's four times ghost, and a four times dark, um, which the rest of my team is not concerned about. There's a four times ice here, four times fighting. So we do have a number of four times weaknesses that we have to be cautious about. But Monkey has been doing really well with the light screen. I think this was a really good choice over Instruct because Instruct doesn't do well in the sense where Monkey is often going to outspeed most of my Pokemon in Trick Room, which means turn one, if I switch in a Pokemon, Instruct is not going to do anything. So I have to wait for the next turn to actually be able to utilize the Instruct. Instead, having the light screen means that I can survive a lot more. And considering the number of special attackers that we faced in the recent games, I think it really justifies the fact that light screen has been doing a lot of work. So yeah, I think I've been really comfortable with this team. I'll see how far I can push it. As for me, these first four Pokemon that I have here are absolutely brilliant. I love using the Tyranitar, and I love it when it shines, especially in the right circumstances. I think the T-Tar game that we won was absolutely beautiful. There's really not many ways we could have done it. Wait, was this the one? No, it wasn't this one. It was the one where we end up Dynamaxing the T-Tar. So let me see if I can find that match. It could have been this one. Can't remember. Is it this one? No, it's not this. Maybe it's this one, right? Um, okay, it's not. There's a Celesteela game. How about this? Solgaleo. No, it's definitely not this one. I think it's later somewhere. There we go. This is the Dynamax T-Tar. So yeah, I was really glad that we got a chance to see the Dynamax T-Tar actually absolutely dominate this game despite the Venusaur lead. So we get the light screen up, we go for the Rockfall. We're not afraid of Venusaur here. We take the G-Max Vine Lash like a champ. We get our weakness policy boost, and we're gonna dominate the rest of this game. So there's really nothing much we can do against the Venusaur. But they don't know that. We could just max Rockfall, but that's the best chance we had. But the fact that we focused on the Thunderous and the Venusaur decided to ignore the T-Tar, believing we might go for a guard or something like that. Oh, wait, no, no. They actually go for a Vine Lash. Oh, okay, okay. So this is the light screen that protected us. Right. So that was huge. Weakness policy with the light screen that really helped us quite a bit, huh? Interesting. Yeah, and the last turn Max got here. Um, yeah, this is poor decision making. I should have just gone for the Rock Fault into the Cali, but I guess my fear was the Cali would outspeed us, which is the reason for the Max cut. But yeah, whatever. Um, we didn't really delay anyone's turn there because the Vine Lash was going to get us. So yeah. But yeah, still fun, really fun team. And let me know what you guys have been up to in the sense of teams. But yeah, this is it. See you guys in the next one. Take care.